Greetings. This is the Spiritual Tea Report with your host, Hathor Sakama L. And today we are getting into was it growth, preference, or just timing? A spiritual in depth look at Travis Kelce's love journey. We're looking at Kayla Nicole, all the way up to Taylor Swift. The reason why I decided to get into talking about this relationship between Travis Kelce and Kayla Nicole, and then also going on to Taylor Swift and his relationship with her, is just because there's been a buzz of them. It's been going on for months with this friction going on. First, Taylor Swift came out with her new album, and on one of the songs, she's basically throwing shots at Kayla Nicole. And Kayla Nicole seemed like at first that she was kind of, going to do it with some grace. But then her birthday came around just recently. Shout out to the Scorpios. No bias here, but her birthday's I'm right after her in the birthday. So I understand Scorpio's nature. Sometimes we really want to not go low, but she did a tribute to Tony Braxton's Not Man Enough for Me video, and it really caught the Swifties' attention. And they didn't appreciate it, so they came for her and they digged up some past stuff. You know, they love to do that to celebrities, or pick up and find all the past stuff that they said, like nobody's ever said anything. But I'm not going to go into the bias, but I do think that can be a little bit wild when you do stuff like that, because it's in the past, and we show people grace. But that's not the situation that I'm all going to get into. I really want to um look at more of an in-depth look spiritually of what's going on with Travis and Kayla and Taylor, and kind of like settle this thing of who is best for who, and it does show up in compatibility. So that's what I'm going over, is basically the spiritual love and compatibility of him with Kayla, and then we're going to go into the spiritual love and compatibility that he has with Taylor Swift. So, Travis Kelce is a Libra. He was born October the 5th, 1989. Now, when I break down his birthday to the numbers that I do of spiritual soul contract, his numbers start off with 159. That's what the October 5th, 1989 breaks down to, is the 159. So in his month, the month is how you nurture yourself and how you deal with yourself. Travis is very independent. He can sometimes be about himself. He's a great leader. This is somebody who really knows their identity. So when he's nurturing himself, he has to really take care of himself, really know what he wants for himself, and also other people around him show him love by understanding that he is the strong minded individual. Now, how he thinks is, with that 5, he can really communicate. He can be very creative. He will speak with passion. He will be a person that can be with somebody who's a musician. He can be with somebody who's in a celebrity, because he is a creative force himself. He is a speaker. He can be very passionate. All of those things is in how he really like thinks. That's dealing with the sun. So when you're dealing with the sun, that's dealing with masculine energy of how he thinks. He's just a creative individual. 5 usually is somebody who speaks from their heart, or with him being football, he can definitely lead a team. So, how he naturally is, the year is always changing. He's in the year of 9 right now. So, he's very reflective. And there's something that I want to point out with him and Taylor as we get more into this. But with him, he's a very reflective person with that 9. Sometimes he needs solitude. He needs that hermit energy. Um, because when you dealing with 9, you can be good at reflecting things that you see. So you could easily he could look at a play and a football play and then be able to really execute it easily to the team because he's able to duplicate things just by looking at it. But then there's another side of him where he needs that solitude. He needs to be able to travel and be alone. And that's happening a great deal where he more than likely is feeling that in the year of 2025. It's going to change for 2026, but again, we'll get into that later as we're talking about him and Taylor Swift. To say all of that, we're getting into Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole is Scorpio, and she's born November the 2nd, 1991. With her, how she, well, let me go back to this. We're going back to her soul contract numbers. Her soul contract numbers are 11, 2, 2. And with that 11, how she nurtures herself is the Scorpio is she is a teacher. She's forever a teacher and a student. So she should always keep learning, always be open to transformation, always be open to um be the teacher to people, but also be okay with being the student. She has to master some type of thing, especially in education, and just always elevating herself in her own truth, her own wisdom. That's how she nurtures herself, is just being that, but also giving that back to whoever's in her life. How she thinks she deals with this too. So that would be her sun energy. With her sun energy and the way she thinks, it could be dualistic at times. It could be, looking at right and wrong, the yin yang energy. But she also, with this too, she's good at coming into groups and pairing with people, where she knows how to think of ways to be the right hand to somebody, or be in a partnership of some sort. Now, the way that the earth, how she naturally is, she's doing that too energy again, where she's a person who could probably want to go and travel, um, be in different cultures, really understand the differences of people. If you think about an Aquarius, she has almost like that Aquarius energy with the way she thinks and then how she naturally is. So that would even be her being in relationships with different races of men. That's naturally for her because she's so open to that. So now we're wanting to look at Travis and Kayla and how they work together. We got a Libra and a Scorpio, and how this Libra and Scorpio, Travis and Kayla, come together, and their nurturing is a high energy between these two. They go through the higher energy of coming together, the more positive energy of three. So when I look at numerology and people coming together, I don't do life path. So I'm looking at how they nurture each other, that moon aspect, and how they love is that high energy of three. Whereas we're talking about like a lot of compassion, a lot of not even compassion, but passion, good energy, good vibes. Yes, they can flow with that energy. But Kayla is more of in this energy, it sparks her to be more creative. She feels good at talking and more than likely showing Travis some things, teaching him some things. Is very a lot of communication that she likes to give to Travis, and she's excited about it. Now, how he takes it in with her is it could also come into this energy of four, where he actually can structure the things that she's telling him. He can bring light to organizing her thoughts, or really helping her, whatever comes out, making it tangible, making it come to reality. So if she gives him an ideal of and she's just talking about something, he'd be like, oh, you could do this, that, and that. Now, their lower energy is dealing with one. So this one energy, sometimes it can make them bump heads. With that one, is like somebody's not always all the time understanding your identity, your who you are as a person, because you're both trying to kind of like be boss in the relationship or control some things, and that can cause problems. But we're looking at if Kayla was to allow Travis to um I guess almost like show his dominance, he would feel good about it. He wants to feel good about it. He wants to have that control, and that she be okay with him directing the show. But Kayla, like I said, where she said he's not man enough for me, she wasn't always allowing that. She wasn't always okay with him um, directing the show and controlling things. So there would be something where they would bump heads, but if she gave in and allowed it at certain points, he would feel better about being in the relationship with her, especially if they're like in the home together, living with one another. As we get into how they think, they're very transformative together. That sun energy is, this was spiritual. So sometimes in relationships, there's not any way you can get around it. It's something that you have to go through so you can go to the other level. So the energy between the two is transformative, and how Kayla takes it in is that it makes her very reflective. She goes really internal with it, and if he was telling her thoughts of her needing to transform, Kayla would really take it in from Travis and go and within herself to see if he's actually telling her some truth. And with him, he's going to bring that energy, and the energy is that he may want them to better themselves as a couple. He wants them to elevate as a couple. So there could be some type of truth with what Taylor was saying in the song, is that I see this in the way they think, is that there were at times that Travis wanted some type of transformation to happen, but Kayla really needed time to reflect in her mind. Was it true? Was it really, really necessary? So this energy, the higher energy is seven, where they have this spiritual transformative, we're going to get better type of thing. There was also the lower energy bringing in a three. So at the three is lower in the compatibility. You're looking at them kind of going at each other, a lot of up and down, a lot of emotions were getting in the way of logic. So this would make Travis actually flip and be indifferent, and we still see Kayla standing on who she is, because she's like, hey, I'm not after she thought about it, and she's like, okay, I can reflect, and I can think about this and see if I really need to change and make these changes. She would then be like, no, I'm not. I'm me, and you need to accept that. So I do see that. Now, naturally, how they are, they're supposed to be almost like, if they're coming together spiritually, naturally, the earth energy that they have, um, it comes together as students and learning from each other. So this could be a relationship for both of them as a lesson, right? Because we're asking the question of, I guess people want to know, was Kayla Nicole the better mate, or is Taylor, or is it just life and people that we have to meet and go through lessons? And this is looking like lessons for both of them. So with these lessons, it almost came in as business for Kayla, and then it was just a different side with Travis. Travis is living in a different world with Kayla. He's learning things from her, as a Scorpio would do in the month of 11, is teach you some things. Now, that was a higher energy, was 11, so they're, almost like these students and um, teachers to one another. But at times this made Travis flip, because we're looking at this lower energy between them is 7, so there was a problem with the transformation. There was a problem with them going and getting to the better part of the relationship at times. And this would make Travis flip and not really want to deal, wanting to get away. And where Kayla probably wanted to talk and speak about her truth and who she is, Travis didn't want to hear all that all the time. So we're looking at a relationship, for me, just looking over the two, is that there was lessons. There was definitely lessons, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, is he man enough for her? I don't think he was. I don't think he was. I don't, as a Scorpio, I don't think Kayla really trusted Travis in his direction. And Travis needs a person to respect that. And I don't think she fully was respecting the energy of him wanting to be this leader, and certain demands that he wanted, she wasn't down to actually cooperate with.